Hello everybody, Kman here, and today I'll be just demonstrating how to actually make the 1x1 Meadow Stacker. Now, I'm doing this to help encourage people to use the 1x1 Stacker, so today I'll be showing you how to make it. So, first of all, how does this 1x1 Meadow Stacker work? Now, in order to demonstrate this, I made this little cannon to show you how it would technically work. So when I press this button, you're going to see these tripwire hooks activate each game tick of which the TNT passed through. So when normal mid-air stackers you think of they're going to stack in a 1x1 pillar. Now that's technically not the case. Well, let's say this is your sand here, which this is your sand, the TNT. It's going to be in the middle of these 4 blocks. And you have your hammer somewhere in this general area. When that sand goes down, it's in between these 2 blocks, so it technically can't stack in a 1x1. But if we keep tracking this TNT for multiple game ticks, we will start to notice something. As you see, it starts getting lower in Y level, which is expected, but you also will see something else towards the end. And that towards the end is that it actually is in a 1x1 block. Now what this means is that this right here can stack in a 1x1 pillar. So I suggest people with mid-air stackers who want to use these mid-air stepovers to look for, go on a test server real quick, not Cosmic, because this string gets stopped by TNT. So go on one of your personal test servers and basically put your mid-air stack in front of one of these graphs. All these graphs is tripwire hooks, string, and pistons being pushed. So the setup is kind of like this. You have that. Let me just grab the piston, the tripwire hooks. So basically this is how you make it. You just have your pistons in the back with blocks. And that's how you do it. So back to this though. Since this isn't a 1x1 block though, you know the order of the movement of TNT and sand and such, that the Y value is calculated first always. So if this was the sand, the Y value would be calculated completely first, and it would stack all the way down to bedrock if enough force is applied. But if not enough force is applied, it would go to the left or to the right, depending on where your mid-air stacking is. So, but if you have enough hammer here to counteract that force, it should go almost completely straight down, but always will hit it in the 1x1, always will. So, now I'm going to demonstrate how to make a better version of the current mid-over stepover. Okay, so we are back at my current version of the mid-over stepover. So I'll explain how my version of this works. Now, my version is not the most reliable thing in the world, because basically the movement of entities and what gets triggered is different in different chunks. So if you paste this cannon in a different chunk, it will not work. So yeah, this cannon requires chunk borders as well as perfect dispensing. So that's really hard to get on some servers. So basically it's only a test server cannon, this version, but another version that I made is also going to be working for Cosmic, and this one is not so restricted. So I'll show you my restricted version right here. So how does this work? Now, as seen here, I have the hammer here. It gets launched right here. Now, so I have this power here. This is a booster that will push the hammer into this general area right here. And then I have a main booster, main power, that is actually going to give it upward velocity with these few dispensers. So those get launched forward. And all the main left and right velocity is given that way. So I have these 2 pistons that stop the momentum of the TNT to make it stop there. So the hammer's stopped here. So that means is that, remember, it's going to get tons of velocity from going left and right, or forward and then right, and also a lot of upward power from this one here. So what does that mean, and how does this work? So when I have this booster go off, I have this booster go off 1 game tick before this one does. Well, that means there's not going to be much of a drop in this hammer. There's really going to be no drop at all in the hammer. So there's going to be a tiny bit, but it's too hard to notice. So the hammer is going to get dropped there. So what that means is that this TNT is going to give slight adjustment to the up, down, left, and right, while this gives major adjustments to the up and down. So I did that purposely so I can adjust these cannons per game tick. So overall, this cannon works. I have a sand comp cannon here. This is the exact same thing, and the hammer here. I allow the sand comp to travel for 5 game ticks in a repetitive pattern, and I allow the hammer to travel for 6. Because if you think about it, if your hammer spawns first, and with using order of entities. Your hammer's explosions can be calculated before your sand even moves. So what I did that is I allowed the sand to get to this position in game tick 5, and that hammer to get there in game tick 6. Because when this explodes, this won't be receiving the force. If you did them both in the same game tick, then nothing would really happen. So, with that in mind, I will demonstrate its flight path, and I will show you it actually working some more. Okay, and we are back. So, first of all, I'm going to demonstrate the flight path of the hammer. So I'm going to go over here and click the hammer button. Now, this is going to launch the hammer for multiple game ticks. I added some more delay so it won't blow up in the intended location of where I want it. But let's track it. So, first game tick, it's here. Second game tick, it's over here. Third game tick, it's here. Fourth game tick, it's here. Fifth game tick, it's here. Sixth game tick is there. And seventh game tick is here. Now, the seventh game tick is where I'm actually doing the mid-air stacking. So you can see I have the hammer and the 1x1 as well. That's not needed. It's just I get lucky. So now I'm going to show you the sand. You'll see the sand gets more velocity in the beginning, which it did. First game tick, second game tick, third game tick, fourth game tick, fifth game tick, or fourth game tick, fifth game tick, and then sixth game tick. So you can see here, I have the sand in a 1x1 location. I have the hammer also in a 1x1. It's not needed, like I said before, it was a coincidence that happened. But, so, as you can see, it's in this 1x1 location, so it's actually going to stack down straight here. And in one of my friend's video, you can actually see it stacking in this 1x1 location. So now, I will make it work. I will stack it in around one of these trenches real quick. So let me go back over there. And I'll adjust the backboard. I'll show you how to adjust my backboard, or how I did it. Since TNT goes up, then over, it'll always go up, it goes over, and then it'll hit this backboard, lose all of its momentum in this direction, and just keep this direction's momentum and the up direction's momentum. So, all I'll do is I'll go like this. I'll change the backboard. I will add more sand to my sand comp real quick. Nope, too much. Okay, I will remove the delay I added to the hammer. And we'll fire. And then I'll try to run back as quickly as I can to there. But I have to load the cannon because I'm the only one here. Alright. You're gonna miss it stacking, but alright, so there it goes. It's stacked in this pillar. As you can see, it matches up with the graph that we had before, so you know the force is actually in this location here. The sand is. So it's actually stacking in a true 1x1. So what that means is I can adjust it all the way across all these little holes. I can adjust even fine-tune in between, but I'm not doing that right now. So now I'll demonstrate how to make a better version that doesn't involve using triangles. That's a more reliable method of mid-air stacking. Okay, and I'm back. I'm just going to demonstrate a few changes I made to my previous cannon in order for this to make this work a little bit better. Okay, so what I did is I added a booster here now. That's going to launch the sand, the power, and yeah, it's just a sand and power. It's going to launch it in this direction here. The power is going to be here, and the sand's going to be here. Now this will mean I can only, my backboard adjustment will be this way. And then I'll have the sand go this way. This is not using triangles as much anymore, so it's going to be more reliable in servers. I say this would work almost 99% of the time on Cosmic. I'm not sure chunk borders work for it or not, though. I haven't really tested it that much. I screwed around with some delays. It's not really needed to look like this. It's just a jumble mess right now because I was just testing, and I found this way to be actually more reliable than the previous method. This allows it to be more accurate and thus stacking in 1x1 more precisely on Cosmic, because my other cannon I was showing you before I know would not work on Cosmic, but this kind of version I'm showing you now, I have a different version, but I'm showing you this, some ideas I'm handing around. It should allow people to stack in 1x1. I will release my other cannon just so people want to check it out to see how I did delays, timings, and such. And I also will be giving away a plugin that tracks the order of which entities are spawned. It's actually very helpful. I'll fire this little cannon real quick, and you can see the way entities spawn, which is really nice. So you can see the location, the game tick, the location that of the entity being spawned, and the order in that game tick. Now it tells you what type of entity it is too. I have no sand in the sand comp, so you'll see no sand being spawned, but you actually have to go in your list to see it. But that's all I'm gonna have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you guys make your 1x1 mid-air stackers now. After giving a couple tips, I hope you guys do good. I'll see you later.